So you're moving to Canada. That's a huge, exciting step. And look, you've probably sorted out all the big stuff. But the real challenge, the thing that can make you feel like an outsider, is often navigating all those unwritten social rules. Well, that's what we're going to do here. Break down the core of Canadian culture to help you feel right at home, a whole lot faster.
It really can feel a bit overwhelming, right? Like you've been dropped into a new game without a rulebook. Every culture has these subtle cues, these little things that nobody ever writes down. So where do you even begin? Think of this as your roadmap, your starting point for understanding the big ideas that really make Canadian society tick.
You know, to really get a handle on a new culture, you can't just copy what people are doing. You have to understand why they're doing it. It's all about getting to the why behind the what. So let's start there, with the foundational values that shape everyday life in Canada.
Okay, at the very heart of it all, you're going to find these 3 pillars. Seriously, they influence pretty much everything, from the country's laws all the way down to how you chat with the person at the grocery store checkout. Let's dig into each one.
This first one is absolutely fundamental. Canada's official policy is multiculturalism. Now, what does that really mean? Well, the goal isn't a cultural melting pot where everyone kind of blends together and becomes the same. It's thought of more like a mosaic, where all the different pieces, different backgrounds, beliefs, languages, are respected and celebrated for what they are. It's all about valuing what makes each community unique.
Next up is this idea of equality and fairness. It's really woven into the fabric of the country. It's this core belief that no matter who you are or where you come from, you deserve a fair shot. You'll see it in the big things, like the legal system, but you'll also see it in the really simple, everyday stuff, like, say, waiting your turn in line.
And rounding out our top 3 is privacy. Canadians generally have a high regard for their personal space and their personal information. So don't be too surprised if people you just met don't ask super personal questions about your salary or your family life right off the bat. It's not them being cold or distant, it's really just a way of respecting boundaries.
Okay, so we've got the big abstract values down. Now, how does all that actually play out in real life? Let's get into the practical, day-to-day social stuff you're going to encounter. This is where the theory really meets reality. Get ready for this, because you will hear these words constantly. Politeness is a huge, huge part of daily interactions. And yes, the stereotype about Canadians saying sorry all the time, it's pretty real. But it's not always an apology. For instance, if you need to get past someone in a crowded aisle, you'll probably say sorry. It's less of an I'm sorry and more of a pardon me, or just a polite way of acknowledging their presence.
Being on time is another big one. It isn't just about being organized. It connects directly back to that core value of respect. Showing up late for a meeting, an appointment, or even just a casual coffee with a friend can be seen as you not respecting their time. So punctuality is definitely key.
And here's that value of fairness in action. The art of lining up or queuing is pretty much universal here. It doesn't matter if you're at a bank, a bus stop, or a coffee shop. The system is simple and unspoken. You find the end of the line, you wait your turn, and everyone gets served in the order they arrived. It's a simple little social contract that ensures everyone is treated equally. Now, this one can be a little tricky. The Canadian communication style is generally direct, but it's almost always wrapped in politeness. You can absolutely disagree with someone. That's totally fine. But it's all about how you do it. Raising your voice or showing a lot of intense emotion during a discussion can sometimes be misunderstood as aggression, even if that's not what you mean at all. It's about being direct with tact. All right, let's shift gears and take all these ideas into the workplace, because professional culture in Canada is built on these exact same values, but it definitely has its own unique set of rules and expectations.
Look, your skills and your expertise are what got you in the door. No question. But in a lot of Canadian workplaces, your ability to collaborate and work well with other people is just as crucial. There's often a huge focus on the team's success, so being a team player who can communicate and contribute effectively is highly, highly valued.
So what does this actually mean for you day to day? Well, first, workplaces tend to be merit-based. Your skills and your performance are what truly matter. Second, teamwork is everything. Success is often seen as a group effort. And third, and this is important, when you get feedback on your work, try to see it as objective advice about the task, not a personal attack. The goal is always to improve the project together, not to point fingers. So knowing all this, how can you actually put it into practice and make your journey a bit smoother? This section is all about real, actionable advice to help you along the way. It is completely, 100% normal to feel a little awkward or misread a social cue when you're in a new culture. Everyone goes through it. The most important thing to keep in your mind is this. If an interaction feels a little off or strange, it is almost certainly just a cultural difference. It's not a personal rejection of you.
So here's a little toolkit for success. First, just watch and observe how people interact before you jump to conclusions. Second, the goal here is to adapt, not to completely change who you are. Find that balance. Third, focus on building some real, strong relationships. And you know, a fantastic way to do that is to get involved in the community, maybe by volunteering. It's a great low-pressure way to meet people and practice all of this.
And please, remember to be patient with yourself through all of this. Nobody gets it perfect on day one. Adjusting to a new culture isn't a race to a finish line. It's a journey, and it's going to have its ups and downs. Every single day is just another chance to learn something new.
Let's leave it with this thought. Adapting isn't about erasing your own identity to become someone else. Not at all. It's really about understanding the playbook of a new society so that you can navigate it with confidence and with dignity. It's about finding that sweet spot where you can show respect for your new home without ever losing respect for yourself.